Hello guys, so I've just sent the link on the community section, so hopefully people managed to find us. So as you can see, we've got a 6-inch chocolate cake. It's on a 10-inch board because I've just decided recently that I'm just going to buy 10-inch boards, because most of the time I'm doing 6-inch cakes, and then it means that if I do an 8-inch I can still fit it on the board. It just means that it's going to have less space, so I don't really mind that. So I thought it's just easier, because otherwise you have to keep track. Obviously for 4-inch cakes I don't use 10-inch boards, I have 7-inch for that, but because some people change the size of their cake last minute, or I get last minute orders, it's just easier to have like loads of 10-inch boards. So I've just decided that that's what I'm going to do from now on, because then you're more likely to have the stock. So that's why the board probably looks bigger in retrospect to the cake, but we're just going to cover it with chocolates. That's why it's not covered in white contact paper, because it's going to be all covered in chocolates. So just cleaning off the board so that it hasn't got any excess on it. And then because it's a stripe cake, we're going to do the first layer. I was going to do it in my vlog because you have to leave it for a little while, but I thought we can just mix up the colours for the stripes and things in the meantime whilst it's in the fridge. So I am going to put this in a piping bag, I think this time. I don't usually, but I think I will today. So what have I written? There we go. Right, I'm just going to double check that I shared the link, because at least I know then it's done. There we go. So I'm just going to grab a glass so that we can put our piping bags in it. So we have, like so, put it over the glass, just makes it 10 times easier to actually get it in there. So we're starting with the salted caramel, which is like a creamy white colour. I couldn't get it as white as I wanted it, just because it has salted caramel flavouring in it, which makes it slightly coloured. And then the stripes are going to be brown. So right, I need a spatula. Oh. I need to wash my hands because I've got buttercream all over them already. I wiped that all on there and then went to wipe my hands on it. Right, I'm just gonna make sure this is all mixed. To be fair, it is pretty, I think it always looks more yellow in the bowl, and then whenever I actually start putting it on the cake, it looks a lot darker, a lot lighter, sorry. So we're just going to pipe this evenly around the cake so that when we do the stripes it's nice and even. Usually I just palette knife it, but because we're doing stripes you want the buttercream to not be too thick in places and thin in others, so this is just easy to get it nice and even. And then we've got another one just to do the top section. So I'm just filling any gaps so that when we go around with the scraper we're less likely to have any holes. Because we've got such a dark layer to cover as well, you want to make sure that a nice thick coat. And the top's going to be covered with a drip, so that doesn't have to be too thick because it's going to be covered. So I need one of my palette knives. I can use you. Right, and I've got 2 more of those for when we have our different colours. So I am going to be using the Finch Bakery scraper, the one that I always use for any patterns. So we're using the medium stripe. So first you're just going to smooth it out just roughly, doesn't have to be perfect. Just so that it's all the same level. Fill in any gaps before you start doing the stripes. Right, so now that is pretty much smooth, we're going to go in with the stripe edge. we go. So you're just going to smooth the top. Right, so hi Gilly, hi Claire. So we've done the base of the stripes. It now needs to go in the fridge for at least, I'd say like half an hour, but obviously we're on live, so I'm going to see how we go, see if we can put the stripes on it a bit earlier, but I wouldn't want to damage it, so we might just have to have a little chat for half an hour while we're waiting. So if I had a freezer, which I could put it in, then obviously I could put it in there for like probably 10 minutes, but yeah, I don't have freezer space. So we need to colour these buttercreams because we need 2 different colours. They're both brown, but we need one that's slightly darker. So we're going to use the buttercream that we have here, which is currently like a creamy white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of cocoa to it to make it a bit darker. And then we may add a bit of brown colouring probably to make one of them darker than the other, because going everywhere. So that is quite a light brown. We're going to add a bit more. So I'm going to split this into the 2 bowls because it's a light brown, but I think it's very close, if not what we could use for the light brown stripes. And then we need a slightly darker version because the one that we're working from, which was one I've done before, it had medium brown stripes and then dark brown. So I think we might be able to use this, I think, yeah, as the medium. So makes it look so much lighter. That's the light brown. So we're going to split it equally into 2 bowls, and then I'm just going to add some colouring to one of them, brown colouring, to get it a bit darker without adding too much cocoa, because sometimes if you add too much cocoa it just gets a bit sickly. And also this is already salted caramel, so what I've done is they wanted chocolate cake, salted caramel, buttercream, and then they've got, what is it, milk chocolate spread melted in the middle. So it's a mixture of flavours, but I did the buttercream a chocolate salted caramel because I thought it tasted quite nice, and also it makes it darker because otherwise it would have been like white buttercream. So I went for a darker tone, so hopefully, I thought that it smelled really nice with the chocolate in, so we will see what they think. But yeah, it was a mix and match of flavours. I don't normally, like, people can mix them, but it's not like a standard thing on the menu, but I give people the option if they want to mix and match. So we've got one bowl of the light, and then we are going to add some brown colour splash to make it a little bit darker. So, see what that does. I'm going to need a lot more than that. So, let's try that. Move this because it's annoying. A little bit more, otherwise we might have to add some cocoa. I mean, it is darker than the other one, but it's not as dark as I want it. I want it quite dark to be more of a difference to the other colour. So I'm going to add a little bit more cocoa. So they are different colours, as you can see, but this one needs to be still darker. So we're going to go with that, and then hopefully I don't know whether that should be the medium brown and then go for an even darker for the dark brown. So indecisive. I cannot do this. Okay. I think that one's going to get darker because it's got colouring in it. So it means that when we put it in the fridge, it's going to get even darker than it is now. So we can right, I think I'm going to go for that. So we have a dark brown here and then a light brown. We're going to put them in piping bags, ready for when the cake is ready. So get these piping bags. Probably not the best day to wear white. So these piping bags are so, oh, I knew that was coming. These are from Hobbycraft, and I'm really disappointed because they are so hard to get off the roll They're not easy at all. And look, that's another one ripped. I've ripped so many of them. That, like, so many have gone to waste. It's really annoying me. I need to order my ones off of Amazon because they're just, these Hobbycraft ones are just not cutting it. So let's try again. And see, like, the way that they're done, it's done so that they like zigzag, but it means that the likelihood of you splitting 2 bags is so high. Over there. And then we've got the lighter. Right. We've got our 2 colours all bagged up. Just cleaning the work surface a little bit so that everything's out of the way. Right, I am going to make a coffee and then we will have a check on the cake. Right, so both our colours are bagged up. Don't know how set the cake is currently. Still needs a little longer. Yeah. Ideally, it needs quite a bit longer, and I wouldn't want to ruin it to rush the live. So what I might do is come back and do part 2 where we finish it off, just so that it can have maybe another half an hour in the fridge, just so that it's fully set, because like I said, I wouldn't want to ruin it just so that we rush it, because if the stripes aren't set, then it will ruin when you actually fill it with the colour of the other stripes. Then when you smooth it out, it will just basically turn to smush. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll come back in half an hour or so for part 2, and I can tidy the workspace while I'm waiting. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I will see you in about half an hour. So I'll post that all on my Instagram and everything so that everyone knows. But yeah, if you're wondering why this is in 2 parts, that's why. So we're going to come back and do the rest of the decorations afterwards. So yeah.